Yeah, fine. So, guys, welcome back. My name is Ajay Kumar, and today we have here a question, problem actually, which was shared by one of my clients. So, let's see that how we can sort out this. So, basically, the thing is that here you get some offers with the count and revenue. So, this is a pivot output which I have finally what I did is pasted and copied and use the paste special and value. Now the point is that so understand the broad view of this the issue. It's very interesting and what a fantastic way to solve this. Basically, imagine that you get these offers from your client every day from maybe some automation. There is a kind of a macro or maybe some there is a tool ERP which gives you these offers every day or maybe weekly, and you have these numbers accordingly uh, keep changing, right? Now basically what is happening, most of the time you get these offers only, most of the time, right? So when you get these offers, you want to use these offers somewhere in different Excel, right? For example, you want to go in the different Excel and you want to paste these the offers, right? You want to go and paste this. Imagine they are top 15 or top 20, something like that, right? So you're going to paste them here. You want to go and use these offers for any sort of work. Now the problem is that if today I have pasted this, imagine that yesterday or tomorrow also or yesterday also the same offer came, right? So what client wants actually is that they should not be using the same flow of these offers, rather than this should get some random numbers. Like for example, if tomorrow I run this report and I again get these in the form of, let's say, top 15 or top 20 offers, right? So if they are coming the same, then the problem is that I don't want to use them again in the same sequence. What I want is that I want that maybe this offer should come here, maybe this offer should come here. Randomization. This is what I actually am talking about. We want the randomization of these offers, of course, with respect to their count and the revenue. So how we can do this? That's the problem. Because every time, if these are considered to be the top 15 offers based on any criteria, let's not get into that. I will have the same the sequence, and for some reasons I cannot use the same sequence. I want the shuffling, right? I want the randomization of these offers. So to do this, let's go and see that how we can do that. Got the point? So you see, the point is you can create a new template here, but I'm going to create it right over here just to show you. We will go and use here the random between number. Okay, random between formula. So basically, let's say your the entire thing starts from here. Let's say this is the row number 4. Now generally what happens, the thing is that I can use the random between, because random between, we can say that it should generate the number between 5 and this the 20. Now, why I'm looking for this? Because once you go and create the random number 5 and 20, we can use maybe the index function, right? Or indirect function, that whatever the random between generates here the number. For example, if you say 5 to 20, random between will always make sure the number generated should be between 5 and 20. So I can tell my indirect function that go to the 16th row and pick this cache, the spark over here. So we can simply go and say that, so I'm going to create here the address. So let me just go and write here address. I hope you know all these formulas, right? So we say that this is the row number, and obviously the column has to be 1. So I'm going to use the column 1 because offers are in the column number 1. So this is how the A10 is there. And now finally, somewhere here, I can say indirect, you go in the A10 of this sheet and get me that particular offer from here. So in this way, if I drag this up till here, we will have random numbers generated. And because we said 5 to 20, because this is the 5th row and this is the 20th row, we will always have a particular the row, which we are targeting, it always uh, going to pick the row between these 5 and 20. So you will always find some value over here. Okay, so this is the simple address function, right? I'm just going to drag this. Now see that what is going to happen. If I drag this, you see that every time when you run this program, you will have a new offer generated over here, which is very nice, right? So in this way, now I said that to my client that now what you have to do, you have to go and pick this, copy this, and take to the new workbook and just use it, right? This is just a template. This is for your daily use, right? And obviously same way you can, if this is A14 for example, and if I just go and freeze the G part because that's a row part, so you can pick the other, you know, the IDs as well. For example, if I just press enter, random between always recalculates whenever you drag any formula or you do any calculation. So make sure once your output is there, you just copy it and paste it somewhere. Otherwise, next time when you go and do any calculation and press enter, the numbers will change and you will be in the problem. Okay. So my point is that, so let me just go and drag this here. So I just want to give you the idea. See this. Okay. So sorry, it should not be actually A6. Sorry about this. I should not freeze anything. And yeah, so I'm again getting some problem here. Okay, so no, so there's something wrong we are doing here. Basically, yeah, so G5 should be there. I'm so sorry about this. G we have to log. So left to right, G should remain as G. So this is going to be the row number fix. And then for the column actually, because when you move this here, we have to pick the column B. So you can go and use the column A1, because when I move this, A1 will be B1. So ultimately the column of B will be 2. So basically then 6 comma 2 will be the right. So let's go and drag this. Let's see that. Now you can see that we are able to generate the all the relevant columns. Okay. Obviously, if you want to do this again for another column, because we have revenue also. So I mean, please plan the things accordingly. Okay, right now I'm just doing this for you. Okay, so now this indirect, which is picking the value from here, when you move this left to right, this will pick this, right? Obviously, this is not a video for basic Excel users. It's difficult for them to understand. But again, see the power of Excel, right? To get an idea, right? And get what do you call that, motivated, right? Be motivated by looking at this classic example that how we can go and generate the random numbers. So once this is done, you obviously have to make sure that once the template is ready, uh, you before you recalculate the sheet, you go and copy this and put it somewhere else, paste it somewhere else, because otherwise, if for example I say 2 plus 2, I enter, you see this offer is changed because random function is there, and random always keep generating the random numbers, right? Now I know that the next thing you might be thinking, okay, so that's it, this is over, that's it, fine. Every time I will go and paste the offers over here, and whatever the revenue I have, and this function which is already there, it will keep on pasting the giving the random numbers, right? Well, no, I'm going to tell you now one very, very important thing. This is really now going to be a super learning for you. Okay. First of all, let's make sure one thing, that random 5 to 20 should be according to your data, because right now this is the fifth row and the 20th row. So we want to connect this with the indirect function, and of course with the address function. So that's why I have kept this number as random between 5 and 20, but you have to go and use this according to the starting point of your data and the end point. That is the rule number one. You have to take care of it. Now see this. Now there is a very interesting scenario which I later on found, that initially I thought this is how one should get rid of this, the issue that they are not going to they are now they will be able to shuffle the offers, right, within this specific range. But then later I found that there is a problem in the random between also. In this range, if you look at the data carefully, see this 19 and this 19. Now when the random works, random doesn't really consider the uniqueness factor of a number into the calculation, which means that random says, okay, I will generate the 5 to 20 any number, but this number can be repeated again in the range, and that's why you see that here we have 90 number coming again and again. So as a result, when the indirect is picking this, indirect actually is going to if you look at this, the number here, this, yeah, sorry, not this. If you look at the this offer blue key, see that this is repeated. Now if this is repeating, obviously we are going to lose the purpose of actually creating this whole template, because I don't want any repetition. Repetition means that there is some offer which is left over because of these repetition, obviously, right? Now here comes the important part. So here you have created the random number, right? How to create a random number, but it has to be unique. That's what we want to actually learn in this video, right? So there is a formula over here, and that's the formula I'm going to tell you. You don't have to really get into the science of this formula, what is happening behind the curtains. You just go and use this formula. Maybe in some other video I'll explain you, okay? Or maybe I'll explain you in this particular video also, never mind. See this. Basically, the plan is what you are supposed to do. These are the random numbers. We are happy with these numbers, but sometimes what happens, these numbers get repeated. Like you see, right now there is a 7 7 repeated, and the 7 7 is here, right? So every time you press enter, the random number will be generated. Now here I'm saying that why not to go and create the unique random numbers. Unfortunately, I have searched a lot, but I didn't find any actually direct function for this. Okay, so what we are supposed to do is, see guys, the thing is that first of all, what we will do, your row number starts from 5. Okay, so what you are supposed to do, you're simply supposed to write here a previous number which comes before that, the row, which is 4. I'll tell you why. Because now we are going to find out the rank of this number. Okay, so let me just first create here the ranking system. So you will go and use this rank.eq. Rank function, what it does, it actually creates the ranking. It finds that which number is on the highest, so it's going to give that number ranking 1, and then second highest as 2 and 3. Okay, so we simply say that, okay, so this is my number and this is the reference which I actually want to generate, and then I'm going to lock it. Okay, from the future perspective, if you think that your data may increase, the number of rows may increase, please make sure you can put this as 200 as well. That's not the challenge at all, because for the blank numbers, your ranking will not be affected. Okay, so let me keep this as 200, for example, right? Order, we don't need to give the order, that's fine. I'm just going to create here a ranking which is going to be based on the descending order. Okay, I mean not the descending, but what I mean to say, the highest, the largest number will have a rank here as 1. So as you can see here that the 20 is the highest number, so this gives me the ranking as 1, right? And what is the smallest number? I guess this is the 5 is the smallest number. Is it clear? Very simple concept, right? This is called the ranking function. There is another function for the rank, which is this function. But I have seen that this function is available only for compatibility with Excel 2007 and the earlier versions. So if somebody is using Excel 2007, even today's time, which I strongly do not recommend, I urge you to change your Excel version, because now 2019 to 2021 is there, Office 365 is there, right? So for, but anyways, for compatibility thing, you can use the rank. Otherwise, we will use the rank.eq. So this is a bonus point for you. Okay. Anyways, so now you see we have got the ranking. Now, when you got the ranking, again, the same challenge is that, like, for example, if you see this 5, because the number is 5, so ranking will be same. Common sense, isn't it? Now, here is the point. Now, what we are supposed to do is we are supposed to count these numbers one by one using a countif. Okay, and we are going to then add that number to it, but there is a condition that we will also at the same time subtract -1 from it. So what I'm saying is that generally when you use countif, you always give the entire range. No, this time what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to keep the range like in this way, and you will lock this the first part. This is very delicate point, important point, and you will count this very same number here. Now, actually what happens, because you have locked the G5 and you have kept the G5, the endpoint open, no, so what will happen when you go and drag this, for every number, if it is repeating, the count will be different. The count will be different. Because if you freeze this entire range like this, 99% of the time we always freeze the range, right? You will get the count for 5 as everywhere like 3. If let's say 5 is coming here 2 times, so 2 2 2, right? Like this. We don't need that, right? We want to create here a unique number, especially for those numbers which are repeated, right? Because the numbers which are not repeated, well, they will always have a count as 1. Now see this. The moment I press enter and now I drag this, what will happen if you look at this, the number right now, because now 5 is gone. That's the problem with the random, right? Every time I press enter, it recalculates. So let's find out, see this. Can you see that? Your 10 random number is here, coming here actually 3 times. See, 1, 2, and 3. It's not showing 3, 3, 3. That's the point. That's the point, right? So, and this is happening because every time when you go and press F2, let me show you, you see the range is increasing. So the range is now not G5 to G5, it's actually G5 to G9. Simple concept. So if the range will change, the scope of the same number which we have calculated before also will also increase. If the scope is going to increase, then the number will also be a different number. Okay, that's the point. Okay, now after this, for all the unique numbers, see the challenge is only for the repeated numbers, right? This 10, this 10, this is the problem because this is picking the same value here. This is picking the same value. So I'm just doing this to solve the problem of a repeated number. For unique, there is a no for unique numbers, there is no challenge when the random actually function generates the numbers. If it is a unique number like 19 or sorry, like 20 maybe, that's not the problem because that offer will then go and pick the row number 20 from here using the indirect function, and this offer will never actually go and override or take place of any other offer because it is not repeating. So here what we are actually doing is that for unique number we are simply saying, well, if you are unique it means your count will be 1. So ultimately we need 0 because we have no objections, we have no trouble with the unique numbers, right? So this is especially we are doing for only these numbers. There we go, bingo, right? So you see now 17 is actually not 3, it's coming here 1, it's coming here 2, and so on. Now the thing is that if I go and add these numbers to these numbers, your total will change for your duplicate values. What do you think about it now? Are you getting the point? Right? So this 17 which you have here, this is going to be 18, and this 17, this is going to be 19. And that's the game plan. That's the game plan. Okay. But you will not add the numbers here. You will add the numbers here. Why? Because the thing is that when I'm going to count, when I'm going to count the ranking is a function which will make sure that whatever the rows I'm using, they all will be considered. For example, here you have here how many rows? You have here 16 rows, right? Which starts from the 5th row and stops at 20th row, right? But overall you have 16 rows. It means to get to these 16 values, I must have 16 unique random numbers. If I use the rank, then rank will make sure that every time when I calculate the ranking, it's not going to be repeated unless there is a repeat number. And obviously for the repeat number, we have already done this setting, right? So we are simply going to add this to this number. I will go and use the countif directly in the same formula, but just for your understanding, I'm not going to do that. So I'll prefer using this in this way. Okay, so this is the first thing. All right, so now when you go and drag this is how the numbers are going to come. Now, here is the last important thing. You see, the thing is that now the random number, because you are using here the ranking, right? This is the function we have used, the ranking, right? So, you know, in a data, ranking will be from like first rank, second rank, third rank. But ideally for Excel, this is not a first row. This is a fifth row. So that's why if you get here anywhere one, which you will get because it's a ranking, right? You will always get the ranking based on the table. If it has 16, so you will have ranking are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, right? Correct or not? But for 1, actually it should not be a 1, because if it is a 1, then my basically the target is to actually pick the row number 5 and then 6 and then 7. That's why I said that you will always go and add here a number called 4, because if the result for the result called 1, when the 4 will be added, your minimum, the lowest row will be 5. The minimum, the row which we will have in our data, the lowest row, that will be the row number 5th, because you're adding 4 to it. So number will always be greater than 4, which can be 5, which can be 6. It depends, because what you have here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and all that. Are you getting the point? Right? So this is all the understanding you have to go and bring in this function. Once this is done, I'm just going to drag this, and I will go and hide this. I will go and hide this. In fact, I can go and hide this as well. But this is actually exactly the main function now. Have a look here. Have a look here. Do you see any repetition here? How many rows we have here? We have here like 5 to 20, right? So where is a 5? Ah, well, that's my 5. Where is a 6? Yeah, that's my 6. Okay, and then 7, and then 8, and then 9, and then 10, and then 11, and then 12. Where is the 12? Yeah, 12, and then 13, right? And then 14, and then 15, and then 16, and then 17, and then 18, and then 19, and then 20. Did you find any repeated value here? Tell me, my friends. Tell me, my dear students. Tell me, my seniors. Tell me. You didn't find it. That's the solid logic. That's the solid logic you're going to use here. Now, if you look at here, well, let's see that. Do we have any repetition here? Well, yes, 16 is repeated. 16 is repeated, but ultimately we have converted that to a unique number. Now, once our rows actually are coming between 5 and 20 and making sure that all the rows are coming because there's no duplicate, here where you have used the indirect function, the problem is resolved. The problem is resolved. Now you can see all these offers are not repeating, and so as the other numbers. So use this trick, and and make your life easy in Excel. Let me remove the formula. If you just want to copy this formula, okay, you can use this. Why not? Look at this. Otherwise, you can also take the help of the Excel file. So this is what we have done. Just pause the video and have a look. And before you get into the Excel, try to make your own logic also here. What exactly we are doing, right? So let me summarize this. Random between, I thought, is a good formula. It can create the random numbers. It was creating, but the problem is that it was repeating some numbers also most of the time. Repeating the numbers means that I will go and use the same offer again and again, which I never wanted to, because it offer, once it is used, it should not be repeated over here while we are reshuffling the row numbers. So that's why we said that, okay, now let's go and find out the rank of each number, which will make sure that the number starts with 1 and then 2 and 3 and so on. But here also in the ranking, the repetition can be a problem if the same offer is coming. So that's why what we did, we said, okay, let's do one thing, start counting these rows in this way. Let's keep the top part locked and the last part open, so that when you drag, this I teach in my Excel training also a lot, right? So that every time we have a unique number generated here if it is a repeated number. And then because the problem was only coming from the repeated numbers, so we said we don't need anything from the unique number, simply minus 1 it, right? So this way actually we were able to solve the repeated number issue. And then finally we added this to here, because rank starts from 1 obviously, so our row actually starts from 5th. So by adding 4 to it, we are making sure that if the rank is 1, then finally the number should be considered as 5. If the rank is 2, it should be 6, because 4 plus 2 will make it 6, because this is where we needed it. We needed these cells. So if I have to pick the data somewhere in this, when we are shuffling, when we are doing this randomization, it should actually go and pick A5, not A1, right? So that's the logic we have kept here as the this called we have added here 4. All right, so thank you so much, and you can obviously use these formulas from this video, and have a good luck, and let me know how did you find this the information. Thank you. Bye bye.